Okay, so quick. Since last time that I did a video, it snowed. So, hence the white background. I was focusing on the monitor rather than the lens. So I'm trying now to focus on the lens rather than the monitor. My monitor is now right next to my lens, so if I do have to reference it, rather than having to look up like I was before, it's now almost directly to the side, so that might help me with some of the self-filming. So these are the lessons I learned from last time. I'm also going to try this. I just turned on a work light. I'm using it as a kind of a fill to have a little bit more dynamic lighting, because each one of these videos is supposed to be the next step. What is the next step in getting closer to my goals in becoming a filmmaker? Part of it is reviewing what I had promised with last time, moving forward and trying to edit that through. I had a really hard time differentiating between the 35 and the 50mm lenses when I was going back in edits. Now luckily I did an audio cue, but I couldn't tell because my positioning was a little bit off. So this time I'm actually stationary. So when I switch lenses, I'll be able to go and actually see the difference between the two. I also had a slight issue with exposure in that I noticed that there was either a trend as the day progressed, because I shot really early before sunrise or as sun was rising, and then it sort of crusted over. Even though it was overcast, it still had a lot more light. Now today, this is a complete overcast. So this should be a little bit more even. I also had a haze filter on the 35, and I did not have that on the 50mm. So I'm actually going to try and do a test with my UV haze filter. I'm going to have it on and off. So right now it is off. I'm going to put it on, test that, and then switch lenses, see how that looks with the 50mm. That's the recap. That's kind of what I'm looking at for today. This is kind of going into the future here. One of the videos I was watching was really interesting about how they came up with a filming project, shooting on 16mm film stock and doing the pre-production and everything else. One of the things that they said is that they worked with the Montana Film Commission. I didn't even know there was film commissions for the state. So I actually looked into it, and I'm probably going to be reaching out to my state with their film commission, or it's like Virginia Film Center or something like that, and see if they might be able to help me out. I'm also reaching out to several different organizations in my community, because my plan is to do a documentary on my local town here in Bluemont, Virginia. I want to go and work on the skills. So I'm going to plan on doing a little section at a time and building out the story. Now, what's really cool about Bluemont is that they have a festival every year. So I'm going to reach out, see if I can get access to maybe the planning committee, and kind of using that as my backbone to my story. As that builds up, I'm going to include a lot of the businesses and the community centers, things like that. So that's kind of my idea so far. Obviously, my pre-planning is really rudimentary at best. I have a concept, I have an idea, I need to flush it out. So that's kind of where I'm at for the project side. So I guess you could say I'm running two projects at the same time. One is the documenting my progress as a filmmaker. The second being my actual project. Like I said, I'm a solo filmmaker, so I don't have all the skills yet. I'm going to learn. So now, back to lenses. I'm going to switch out. Well, first I'm going to put the UV filter on. Then I'm going to switch it out, and then put the UV filter on the 50mm and see if there's any difference between the two. So this is the Rokinon 35mm T1.5 Cine Lens with the K&F UV haze filter. Rokinon 50mm T1.5 Cine Lens. This is without the UV filter. And for reference, my t-stop is between 5.6 and T8. So it's like halfway between the two. So I match that with both the 35mm and the 50mm. This is the Rokinon 50mm T1.5 Cine lens with the K&F UV haze filter. And great card. Thank you for joining me today on my update on my journey into filmmaking, and I hope this has been educational or insightful or enjoyable for you, and join me next time.